Hey guys, Burn-A-Briar here. I'd just like to start by thanking everybody for such a gracious welcome into the YouTube pipe smoking community. I think as I stand right now I'm on about 35 subs and got lots of views and a few likes here and there, so yeah, I couldn't have hoped for a better welcome really, so thanks very much. Those of you who followed me from the very beginning, when I posted my first video, you might have noticed I changed my name from Burn-A-Bowl to Burn-A-Briar. That was simply because Burn-A-Bowl it didn't really represent the channel as well as Burn-A-Briar. If you type in Burn-A-Bowl onto Google, you'll end up finding a load of things related to smoking of cannabis, not tobacco. So yeah, that's that. Didn't really know what to do for my next video. It's taken me some time. I've been really busy at uni, but I decided that it would be quite interesting if I showed you my pipe collection. I have a dozen pipes as at the moment. I'll probably get more eventually. I'm always adding, but yeah, there's a different story behind each one, so I thought a way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better would be if I shared with you my collection of pipes. So that's what I'll do. I hope you enjoy. So, I thought I'd show my pipes in the order that I've acquired them. So I am going to start with this one here. Now this is the first pipe I was ever given, and I was given this pipe when I was 3 years old. So you could say I was destined to smoke a pipe. I'm not sure how well you can see it here. I'm going to bring it a little close to the camera. If it gets in focus there. You can see it's got a face, sort of not carved, it's made of clay, sculpted into it. And other features there, and it's got these stones set into it. The shaft of the pipe is made of wood, and the rest is clay. I think this is more of a decorational piece, and if it was ever designed to be used, and it can be used, I've smoked this pipe before with tobacco, but I don't know, there's a sort of sinister nature to this. Perhaps it was intended for the use of something else. And for many years that was my only pipe. And I played around a bit of it when I became a teenager, but really that was it. I didn't smoke a pipe at this point. And then I acquired two more from my grandmother. Because my grandmother smoked a pipe, mostly due to the fact that a friend of hers, he was a famous solicitor called David Lavender, the same man who incidentally gave me this pipe, he left a large part of his pipe collection to her. So she gave me two pipes at once, and that's these two. Now I'll show you them in a little more detail. I'll show you this one first. This is a very unusual pipe. It's a sitter, but it's a sort of long sitter, a church wardeny sitter, and it's made of wood, but I'm not sure what the wood is. You can see maybe, I'm not sure if it's in focus, but you can see that this also got a separate briar bowl set into the wood that was used to make it. Unfortunately, this pipe smokes absolutely awfully. I think it's actually suffered a bit of burnout, and it's just beyond repair, really. The next pipe is this. Now this pipe was pretty much the pipe I taught myself to smoke with. Old estate pipe given to me by my grandmother, used to be hers, and before her it used to be Mr. David Lavender's. And it stumped me for some time what this is. I've cleaned it up a lot. This was once completely green. the vulcanite stem, I've restored it. I did lots of research, even took it to London, to Fox of St James's in St James Street, and they reckoned it was a sort of Victorian glazed clay bowl with the stem added later. However, I've done a little bit more research myself, and I'd like you guys to have a look at this, see if any of you can identify what it really is. With a bit of reading, I think that this may perhaps be an African meerschaum. It's a lot heavier than a normal meerschaum, which is why the man in the shop thought it was clay. It's quite rough. It's got this sort of, I'm not sure whether you can see, but it's sort of got some holes, marks on it, yeah. And it's fairly pale, heavy. It was this black rim that they used to put on the African meerschaum pipes that's made me think that perhaps it is. But I've never been able to identify it, and obviously there's such a body of knowledge on YouTube when it comes to smoking pipes. Perhaps one of you guys know what this is. After I was given those two, once again my gran gave me another one. Now this is a beauty. This is a Calabash pipe. And not one of the Calabash pipes made with a mahogany chamber. This is a real gourd, a real Calabash with a meerschaum top, and it's got a small bowl, but it smokes well. It's very good for getting a very pure flavour out of your tobaccos without any ghosting or anything like that. I hear that these have become quite valuable actually, but I plan to keep it. It's a lovely pipe, smokes well. I smoke it on special occasions. It's not very easiest to hold in your mouth, you know. But it's nice, and I've done my best to kind of restore it because it was in pretty bad shape. Once again, another pipe I got after that was given to me by my grandmother. It used to be hers. Now this is the only pipe in my collection that I've not smoked. It's a straight Dublin meerschaum with a sort of lattice finish around half of the bowl. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I see why it was her favourite pipe, and it's because it was her pipe. When she used to smoke a pipe, this was hers. This was the pipe she'd always smoke, and it was because of that that I've never smoked it, because I still consider it hers, although she's requested rather in good humour, she's requested that if she dies, and she insists that I smoke this at her funeral, so I'll keep her my promise there. Yes, and I may do with those pipes for some time before I bought my own brand new pipe. First pipe I ever bought. This is a Peterson Iran 03. I really love the 03 shape. That is just that beautiful round bent apple. The bowl, I'm not sure if you can see, has some lovely bird's eye on one side and a bit of flame grain on the other. I think the finish of this pipe is fantastic. I bought this for myself when I first moved to university a couple of years ago, and it's a good smoker. I only smoke aromatic tobaccos in this pipe. That's just the pipe I've reserved for aromatics. Aromatics aren't my favourite type of pipe tobaccos. I'm the sort of person who'll smoke all types without really having too much favourites, because I find one blend is just completely different to the other. Shortly after that, I bought myself another pipe. This was a Parker Knight 05 shape. It's just the straight billiard. I thought I just wanted a straight billiard. It's such a classic English shape. It's got a red stain, and I'm not sure if it's going to focus. No, it doesn't look like it is. Not happy with this one. Oh, there we go. Little silver ring here around the stem. Park of London. And it's a Knight. And I tell you what, this is the, other than the one that I explained earlier had a bit of burnout, this is the worst smoking pipe in my collection, which is a shame. And it's quite funny because I have another Parker, which is the best briar for smoking in my entire collection. And I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. I was then given as a gift this. This is a tiny little pipe. I'll see if I show you a comparison. The relatively small Peterson Iran. In comparison to this. This is a little pocket meerschaum. I don't believe it's a very high quality meerschaum, but it's just a little token that was given to me as a present. You might be able to see there's a little crack down it. Smoking it one day and half the bowl fell off, but I used a bit of epoxy resin, got it stuck together, and it smokes as it did. And it's a nice little thing, very easy to carry around, and it's not, because it's not a very valuable pipe, I feel quite comfortable sort of taking it with me here to there, very portable, and it's nice. Smokes well, as meerschaums tend to. After that, bring you on to the pipe that I smoked in my last video. My Butts Choquin Caden Noir. Now, I'm much more, you might have got from this video that I tend to prefer a smooth finish on a pipe. This pipe was bought for me by my girlfriend, and it's rusticated, but it's not your average rustication. It's, I really like this pipe. I really like the finish on it. I think it's really stylish. I'm not one for the acrylic mouthpiece, but I have to say it doesn't trouble me on this pipe, and I just love the way this sort of ring rustication that's going on here. It looks to me like a sort of beehive. I don't know what you make of it, but it's a lovely pipe, and it's almost broken in. Just 2 more smokes, so I'm going to give this before I'm going to take it outdoors. I tend to smoke just sort of Virginia based blends in here, vapours, sort of non-aromatics that don't have latakia. I think I'll extend this to. I'm really into the McBaron Navy Flake at the moment, so I might pop some of that in there when it's done. Then my other Parker, well, actually, before I do this, I said I was going to do it in order. I should probably open this. That last pipe was given to me for my 21st birthday by my girlfriend. This pipe was given to me for my 21st birthday by my good friend Dan. It comes in a lovely case, and it's an old estate meerschaum, carved Turkish meerschaum. I want this to focus, and I hope it will. I'll just see if we can get this into focus. Oh, please, come on. Oh, it's not happy. It wants to focus on the pipes in the background. Hold on a second there, guys. Sorry about this. I will get better at making videos, I'm sure, with time. There, look at that. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Some kind of Viking, hardy, drunken warrior, maybe a god of some kind. This is a nice pipe, and I tell you what, this smokes any type of tobacco like a dream. This is a very high-end meerschaum pipe, and I think my friend got a very good deal on it in the car boot sale. So he was able to give it to me, and actually, incidentally, him buying this for me kind of prompted him to buy his own pipe, and he's now getting into the hobby. But I think this is beautiful, and I very much like this pipe. So yes, back to my other Parker. Now, I'll bring out the other one. My worst smoking briar pipe and my best smoking briar pipe. And there is a big difference between the two. They are the same brand, although this is a Parker Knight which means that whilst it comes under the Parker brand, like the majority of Parker pipes these days, it's made in France for Parker. Sorry there guys, my camera cut out for some reason. Right, so I was explaining these two pipes. This one made in France for Parker. This is not the same. This, I don't know if it will focus. That's it. You might be able to see there, this beautiful pipe. It's a sort of, well, it's not quite a billiard. It's a, I'd say a straight, possibly, it's kind of between a billiard and a brandy. I like to call it a pear, but I'm not really quite sure what you'd call this. It's, you can see, compared with a billiard, it's a lot rounder near the base, more shapely. This is a London Parker Briar. A Parker London Briar. Excuse me. Parker Knight, Parker London Briar. Now the London Briar range, sometimes called Parker Speciality pipes, are pipes that are made in London for Alfred Dunhill. Originally Parker was a brand that was for Dunhill seconds, and it has once again with this range become just that. This pipe was not good enough for Mr. Dunhill. There's a couple of fills on the bottom, and I presume that is probably it. There's barely anything wrong with this pipe, but you wouldn't get a fill on a Dunhill pipe. It's just, their standards are too high, and I don't blame them when you're paying the prices you are. So this became a Parker, and instead of being between £300 and £400, it was £25. And it is the best smoking pipe I have in my collection. I presume it is pretty much how a Dunhill would smoke, whereas this is not. So when buying a Parker, I would recommend you don't buy anything other than a pipe from their London Briar range, because this is truly a wonderful pipe. I smoke Latakia based blends in this. Anything with Latakia in it, I'll shove in here, and I love it. So that is almost it. I believe we're on 11 now. 11 pipes, which brings me to this box that's been in the background the whole time. Saw some of you noticed. And here is an old clay pipe. Ooh. And yes, this has quite a bit of history about it. I'm probably running on quite a bit for time, but this pipe here is a beautiful old clay pipe made in the traditional way. It says on it, I'm not sure if it's going to be in focus. I'll see if it will focus. Ooh. Well, it's not particularly in focus. It says 1852 to 1952. Wirksworth Great Barmoat Court, 24th of April 1952. PM. There is an area in the UK, and I have a page of history all about it here, where mining courts were set up to sort of govern over the mining of lead, and these courts would meet annually. Obviously mining's dried up in the area now. I can't even tell you which area it is because I've forgotten, but the court still meets ceremonially, and each time the court meets they're provided with fruit, cheese, a pipe and tobacco. Yes, sorry, my housemate made a noise outside. And this is one of the pipes from the 1952 meet. It was bought for me by a relative in an old antique shop. The antique owner didn't know what it was, so they used their initiative, did the research and history for me. I may do another video on this pipe, just because there is so much to say about it. The box was made for me, specifically to hold this pipe, and I think it's beauty. I've smoked it twice, and it's a very clean smoke, just like they say about clay pipes. This provides that pure, clean smoke. And that is my collection. Yeah, sorry if the recording of this video wasn't as smooth as one may hope, but I'll get there, I'm sure. I hope you guys enjoyed. I feel I've got quite an array of pipes. They're all rather unique and different, and that's why I like my collection so much. Feel free to comment, and of course, if anyone out there knows exactly what this is, you know, I'd be very glad of your expertise. I know there's some wonderful minds on YouTube, especially amongst the pipe community, so yeah, feel free to comment, and if you haven't already, just pop in a like or a subscribe, do what you feel. But thank you very much, and I'll be posting another video, hopefully not too long, so yeah, thank you everyone.